What's up, guys? This is Demaria coming to you with another video. So today I just want to talk about how I stepped on faith and I quit a job that I manifested, prayed for, quit a job that would be considered a dream job to the average person. My job had unlimited vacation. I could take my breaks whenever I wanted to, and I was on salary, so all my breaks were like just paid time. I could take my lunch whenever I wanted to. Again, unlimited vacation, very common in the tech industry. I worked in the tech industry at the time and I put in my resignation in March of 2024 March of 2023, that was last year. And I put in a resignation notice with no type of structured exit plan or anything. Now, I am a natural born hustler, just like my daddy, but I was still gonna be bringing in some income that would allow me to be able to just barely pay my bills, just utilizing other tools. But I didn't have any other type of expected real income coming in that I was going to expect to come in after I quit this job. So I quit this job with no structured exit plan, no other structured job to go to or anything. I was done. And I know some people are probably would think on the outside looking in, girl, are you crazy? You're crazy for quitting a job with unlimited vacation, salary, this, that, and the other, yada, yada, yada. Baby, that job turned into a nightmare real quick. That actually was a job that I had manifested, I prayed for. If you go and look back at some of my old videos, one of my old videos, I was like in a mauve colored, purple colored shirt, and I was sitting in front of a bush, and I did like a 4-day raw fruit and vegetable fast. And I manifested that job while I was doing that fast, not knowing that it was going to turn into a nightmare. So let me tell you how it went. So I went through 3 interviews and they picked me. Out of hundreds of candidates, I was the only one that they chose for the job. I went through 3 interviews. The CEO of the company interviewed me on my last interview. The story already starts here. Starts at the interview. Like, there was just some really crazy things going on at this job. Thought it was going to be my dream job. I had the opportunity to be able to learn how to code, and I was going to be able to go up the ladder. Okay. So, had my 3rd interview with the CEO. The CEO gave me a job offer. I was so excited. And, they offered me all these good benefits and, well, what I thought was good benefits at the time, but yeah. He told me I had until Monday to make a decision. So he gave me an offer. He sent me an offer letter that Friday morning. And originally I was going to give the whole weekend to figure out what I wanted to do, but I already had my mindset of that I wanted to accept the offer. So by that Friday evening, I emailed him and told him I wanted to accept the offer. And I didn't hear back from him because it wasn't like I messaged him late in the evening. It was more so like afternoon, like 1-ish, 2-ish, something like that. So I didn't hear back from him that day, so I expected to probably hear back from him Monday. So Monday comes and I still don't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? So then that Tuesday I get a call from one of the guys that interviewed me in my earlier interviews, it was like my first interview that he interviewed me in. And he goes to say, "Hi, Zamaria. I don't want to give the CEO's name out, but he was like, he said that, well, he said the guy's name, but I'm just going to say the CEO. He said the CEO passed away." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that." And I was telling him, like, I said, "I was wondering what happened because I accepted my offer letter and I didn't hear anything from him." So he was like, "Yeah, that was the issue. He had passed away in his home, and um, it was just very sad, y'all. Like, oh my gosh." And he told me, he was like, he said, "Demaria, you were one of the last people that he spoke with." And I was like, wow. Wow, like, and I didn't even know the guy, but I had got so sad because I was like, wow, this guy believed in me so much. And it was just a very, I had all kind of emotions because that was like, wow, that was kind of shocking of why I didn't hear back from him or anyone else until that Tuesday. So he said, well, he said, "I'm trying to take over some of the things in his place so that we can keep moving along." And so the whole company was really affected by it because the CEO was like a very friendly person. I can tell he was like a very friendly person. He got along with everybody. Everybody respected him or whatnot. So really, like, the company was like really just mourning the loss of him as I'm coming into all of this mess. And I say all of this mess because they couldn't access his computer. They couldn't get into any of his things. So to this day, there are some things that they don't even have access to because he passed away. I've got to work on that. Just, just in case anything happens to me, we definitely have to prepare to make sure our families can access certain things that they may need that are really important. So moving fast forward, I did my training for a week. It was like a self-paced training where they gave me this big book manual of word instructions as well as videos. And then so I did that for a week. And then that next following week, I got a very short training with my team leader. He barely spent time with me. It was so much going on from the CEO passing away. So it was like everybody was all over the place. And if I haven't told you already, this job was fully remote. Yeah, he just, answered simple questions. Really didn't spend a lot of time with me. But he did introduce me to 2 other people on our team. There actually were 3 other people on our team, but she did like the accounting part of the software, and then everybody else did like more of the product support part of the software. She did accounting support, they did product support. I was going to be a part of the product support, but was eventually going to learn the accounting part as well, but they didn't want me to learn that just yet. So let's call the other 2 people on the support team. One is named, I'm not using their real names. One is named Sy, and like SY, and then the other guy is named Rick. So Sy and Rick. He passed me over to them to help me kind of like, basically for me to just shadow them in what they do. So I shadowed Sy and Rick for a couple days. To be honest, Rick wasn't very personable. He just was like there. Sy was very personable. She was the other, what you would consider a minority, even though we're not minorities. One of the only other minorities in the company, or what you would consider a minority, besides myself. And so the company really wasn't very diverse either. I'll say that. So anyway, she was very personable, and we became friends like really quick. She was like my go-to anytime I had a question, didn't understand or understand something, I would come to her. And but I will say, like, the software, I should have got a better training. Even though I had the manual and stuff, I should have got more hands-on training because it was a very difficult software to learn. And I'm one of those type of people, I catch on to stuff quick, but this right here was a different ball game, and I just did not get the proper training or the proper sources to have available that I needed. So I will commend Sai was there for me, and if it wasn't for Sai, I wouldn't even have been there for 6 or 7 months. So Sai was like the person they threw all the work on. I'll put it like that. While the thing was going on with the CEO passing away and everything, Sai was really the only one that was really there for me. And she's the reason why I made it to the 7-month mark, to be honest. But it was so many crazy things going on. Like, my team leader, I just wasn't happy with him because some of the stuff that Sai was doing for me, I felt like he should have been doing. But I had finally found out the reason why he was so not there for me like he should have been was because he was sitting up there. He's supposed to be my team leader. He's sitting up there practicing coding on the software and doing all this other technical stuff, like helping the team that actually fixes bugs and all kind of other things in the software. So found out he's doing 2 different jobs at one time, being a team leader and being I forgot what you call the position, but it was a position where he was helping to get bugs fixed in the software. So he was like doing some coding, and basically he was in his transition phase of not being a team leader anymore. But we didn't know it. I'm just sitting up here thinking like, we're all thinking like, oh, he's just helping. He just is trying to learn a new skill. But me not even thinking at the time, like not even using my common sense, that he's trying to not be a team leader anymore. So finally, a few months later, like about 4 or 5 months later, he announces to us that he's no longer going to be a team leader. And I mean, he was a non-existent team leader anyway. He was never really there. Always hard to get in contact with. Just wasn't any type of help. So I was struggling, y'all. Like, I made my own little manual. Anytime I figured out something, I just made my own little manual with Microsoft OneNote. And that's how I was able to get by, and with my friend Sai, my coworker friend Sai. So, yeah, and let's just call my team leader Ron. Ron just was doing his own thing. That was the worst team leader I ever had. So, anyways, he finally made the announcement to everybody that he was no longer going to be a team leader. And the guy named Rick, the guy that already was not coming to work like that, would be our new team leader. So, yeah, Rick became the team leader, and then he was out on vacation for like almost a month. So guess who was there? Guess who was left there to fend for ourselves? Me and Sai. And it was a hellhole. I was like at my end, because I'm like, I'm halfway knowing how to do my job. Like, I'm learning, I'm teaching myself between Sai, leading me and helping me with some of my meetings that I had with our clients and stuff, and me just walking on faith and using my common sense on some stuff, that was what got me by. Rick was never there, especially when he became a team leader. Baby, he would go on vacation from back to back to back. And me, I didn't even get to really take advantage of the unlimited vacation because our team was such a skeleton that I felt like I could never take off. And then Sai had 4 kids. So a lot of times, she would have to, here and there, have to take her kids to doctor's appointments and this, that, and the other. So it would be sometimes where I would just be by myself. And it was rough. Like, I just said, I can't take it anymore. Like, I don't know what I'm doing when I'm in these meetings. When I go into these meetings with y'all's clients, I'm up here feeling stupid because they're asking me all these super detail-oriented questions that I don't know anything about. And it was just horrible, y'all. Like, I hate that I wasted some of those people's time with not knowing what I was talking about in the meeting and then having to reschedule it because I have no type of support like that. So, I will give it to Sai. She was there, but those other ones, baby, they can kick rocks. So, y'all, it was just so stressful. And I'm trying not to make this video too long. I'm sorry. But I was stressed out every day. It just got so bad, y'all, to the point where on the weekends I would have work anxiety. And this is a work at home job now. So I was having work anxiety on weekends about not wanting to go to work on Monday. That's how much I started to hate the job. And I'm like, how do I have a job with unlimited vacation and I feel like I can barely take off? Then the lady in accounting support, she couldn't even really take off because she was the only person that knew the accounting part of the software, which is also a no-no. Like, the company, it was all over the place. Our support team turned into a complete skeleton between me and Sai only handling the main queue of the tech support tickets and the other lady only handling accounting support tickets, which her team was her part of the support was a literal skeleton the whole time. It was just getting worse and worse. And also, I forgot to mention that I had signed up for benefits thinking I had excellent benefits, and I did initially. But come to find out, they called me, the HR department called me and told me that they gave me the wrong benefits. They ended up giving me the people that were higher up, like the CEO, the owner, and other people that were higher up in the company. They gave me the executive benefits. So I was getting like really good low deductible insurances and all of that. So I had to end up re-enrolling in the correct benefits, and the benefits end up sucking in the end. Let me hurry up so I can get to the beautiful ending for you guys. But long story short, I just got so sick of it. I was like, you know what? I can't take this anymore. This is too much for me. It's too much going on. I'm not getting the support I need. I've been here almost a year and I still don't feel like I know what I'm necessarily doing, even though I've created a big manual on OneNote of some of the ways to do my job or whatever. And it was very hard for me to do the more complicated tasks that I should have got more hands-on training for. I just got tired of like the work anxiety. I just got to the point I said, this is not worth my mental health. I can't do it anymore. I made a decision that I was going to put my notice in, and when I tell y'all, I was so scared. But I sat up there, I thought about it, I prayed about it, and I was like, just asking, like, what do I need to do? And something just came to me and said, Demaria, you need to quit your job. It's not worth your mental health. And like I said, at the time my son was like 3 or 4. I think he was like around 4-ish. 2023. Yes, he was 4. He was 4 at the time. And something just came to me and said, you just need to go. You've got to leave it alone. It's only going to get worse. And it's so sad, y'all, that I felt like I couldn't even take advantage of my unlimited vacation or anything. I barely took off at that job. So I put in my notice. And all of a sudden, when I put in my notice, oh, everybody wants to check on me and see how I'm doing. Everybody wants to start being so helpful. And I'm not talking about side, but everybody else wants to, ask what can they do and this, that, and the other. No, it's too late. I don't want to deal with y'all anymore. Y'all suck. So, everybody... Well, some people told me, they hate to see me go. And then the lady in accounting, she did a 360 on me. When she found out I put my notice in, she acted like she didn't want to talk to me anymore. She didn't have another word to say for me. And then I found out from Sai that she started to talk about me behind my back and say, how could she do this and everything. Well, I didn't have any support like that. I hated my job. I was stressed out. I had work anxiety. Who wants a job where they feel like they don't know what they're doing even after 7 months? I couldn't do it anymore. So I said, you know what? I will take this pay cut. I will go back to bringing in unstructured income. Y'all can have this. I'm not dealing with it anymore. So I stepped out on faith. I put in my resignation. And after my last day, I felt free. And like I said, I'm a natural born hustler. So like my daddy, like my dad. So, I knew that I was going to be okay. Like I still was going to have money coming in, but just not as much and not as consistent. It wasn't like a 9 to 5. So, fast forward a week after I stepped out on faith and quit my job, I got a call from my aunt. My aunt is a manager at in this accounting department, and mind you, my degree, I just have a general business degree, but I took accounting classes and understood like the very basics of the accounting concept. So she gave me a call and she was like, because me and her talk all the time. I'm super close with her. So she already knew my story and what was going on. So she goes to say, so she just randomly she randomly just contacted me out the blue. And she was like, hey, Demaria, she was like, I just want to bring this to you. She said, I just want to bring this to you. My department is just really busy right now. We've moved over to this new system and we really need some help. We need an assistant for our department. And so I was like, okay. She was like, I can tell you more about the job or whatever a little bit later if you think you may be interested. And I was like, oh, sure. Come on, like tell me about it. She ended up giving me the details of the job, what it would entail, what all I would be responsible for and things like that. And so it was like kind of like interview or whatever. And so the only thing was, we thought initially it might be a conflict of interest, but they were totally fine with it at the company. And after going through the process or whatever, they offered me the job. And so I got the job. And yeah. And I end up getting, I actually made more at this job. And I was like, wow, I stepped out on faith. And then I don't even think I was looking for another job at that time. No, I don't think I wasn't even looking for another job at the time. And out of the blue, she just called me and said, hey, we need some help in my department. And I accepted the job offer, and oh my gosh, y'all. So like I went from the tech industry to working in an accounting department, and it was like night and day. I ended up being a lot happier. I got my mental health back and made way more money, had way more flexibility. I didn't have unlimited vacation. I don't have unlimited vacation here like I did at my other job, but I finally felt like I was able to, I could take off like I wanted to more and stuff like that. It was just so much better on so many levels. Oh, and also I still have the opportunity to work remote part of the time. So I work like a hybrid schedule. So I'm very grateful and thankful that happened. But that's what happens when you step out on faith. Sometimes you just have to step out on faith. Now, I'm not saying step out on faith and be at risk to be homeless, but I stepped out on faith when I knew that I had other tools that would allow me to. Now, I was going to be struggling some, but I had tools that were going to allow me to be able to still at least be able to just get by until I figured something else out. And that's the natural entrepreneur, the natural entrepreneur in me. And so, y'all, that was nuts. I was like, wow, this is what happens when you step out on faith. And so now, that's why I say, you know, I don't know if you watched my previous video that I posted before this one, where I said this will be, I think the video was titled, "This will be my last 9 to 5 ever," or something like that. And like I said in that video, this is the job that I work at now. Now I fast forward March of 2025 will make it 2 years that I've been at this job. So, and like I said in the other video, this is the best 9 to 5 that I've ever had. And I haven't had that many 9 to 5s, but this is the best one out of all of them that I've ever worked. Yes, I get mentally drained. I do work overtime every week, but it's still the best 9 to 5 that I ever had. Oh, and I just wanted to clarify this just to not cause any confusion. When I first started my new job, yes, it was less stressful than the job that I left. That was just a hellhole. But I've been there almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in March of 2025. And now the workload is different. It's a lot more stressful, but I'm glad that I know what I'm doing in my job. But yeah, my family circumstances are different. So yes, presently right now, it is a lot more stressful, and I'm in my next transition phase to entrepreneurship. So I just wanted to make that clear so that there wouldn't be any confusion on that. So now I'm in the current process of, okay, I stepped out on faith and got this job. My dream is to go back to entrepreneurial life full time, because I know how it feels to have that time freedom. And it's not out of spite or anything. It's because my son has some special needs right now. I take him to appointments. Imagine having to take your child to doctor appointments 3 times a week. So I take him to his therapies 3 times a week. he has some special needs going on. Plus, I'm homeschooling him. So I have a lot going on, and it makes it a bit of a challenge when you have a job that's high volume. I work in a high volume accounting department, and on top of that, yeah, it's just a lot. I have a lot going on now, but at the time when I got the job offer, I didn't know my son was dealing with the stuff he was dealing with. That was a whole different time, but now it's like, now I'm at this phase where it's like, okay, it's time for you to transition again. It's time for you to do some new things. So how am I? So now that same faith that I had in March of 2023, I've got to have that same faith for the next. I've got to use that same faith and step back out on faith again within this next transition. Because this job is going to be the last 9-to-5 job that I'll ever work. And so I'm saying that to say I'm just going to step out on faith, and it's going to be a sacrifice. And I'm not saying I'm quitting my job today. Oh, and I will quit this when I do put in my notice. It will be very respectable. I would, when I get ready to put my notice in, I would like to put in a month notice, because this is the best job, 9-to-5 job that I've ever had. But like I said, it's just mentally draining for me because of everything else that I have going on in my personal life, and it's very high volume. But overall, it's a decent 9-to-5. So yeah, I hope this motivated you, encouraged you, and inspired you to just step out on faith and do some different things. Don't get too comfortable, because, you know, you just never know. These jobs aren't secure. You just never know what they could do tomorrow. And it really doesn't bother me, because I'm used to that. And that's just the entrepreneur in me from doing like contract work and stuff like that when contracts ended unexpected. Like, I even contracted with a company that gave me a contract with Google before, and Google dropped me the day of. So the unpredictable part doesn't bother me. But yeah, step out on faith, guys. Follow your dreams. Please, please, please do not give up on yourself, and never, never settle. So I hope you enjoyed this story. I'm sorry it was kind of long, but I wanted to make sure that I got those most important details out to you. And I'm working towards the journey of becoming a full-time entrepreneur. So love you guys. Bye.